Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions on the agenda? Motion to approve?
We're going to revise the order?
What?
We're going to revise the order?
No.
Put reports and reviews before statement? AP Capstone?
I don't think we're ready, are we? What? Are we ready or we're not ready?
Actually,
I think we're waiting for
Okay. So
One question on
when
the
we're ready with that, we'll just move it down. Okay.
one question on the agenda. Are there any changes in the printed version? No?
No.
That would be a change. Motion to approve? Rob, second Kimberly, all in favor? 7-0. Janice, any statements from residents?
No.
Next, first up is student and staff recognitions. First is the Teenie Awards. Ms. Heigem? Maybe?
Sorry. Mr. Creighton sends his regrets tonight, but he has a problem this evening, a conflict that the students can relate to. He's in rehearsal for a musical that opens next week. So he apologizes for not being here. The Teenie Awards, conceived from the idea of the Antoinette Perry Awards, the Tony Awards for the Broadway shows, has been celebrating excellence in high school theater across the East End of Long Island since 2002. Through the Teenie Awards program, East End Arts strives to raise the bar on theater education by encouraging increased attendance and community pride at school productions, much like the school's sports programs. Behind-the-scenes coordination takes place throughout the school year as anonymous volunteer judges with extensive theater experience attend all high school theatrical performances on the East End to determine the best for nomination, and in June, the winners, the best of the best, are announced at the Teenie Awards Gala Ceremony. At the gala ceremony, the public is invited to relive some of the favorite performances from this year's shows from the 16 participating high schools in the region and celebrate the best of the best in the East End High School Theater. The awards are presented by esteemed community members, theater professionals, and art supporters, all hosted by a local personality. At this year's event, Kayla Honkala and Alyssa Montez performed their duet, A Boy Like That and I Have a Love medley. And I'm going to just ask if all the nominees would step forward up here so we can see you and line up when I call your name out. James Logan, for the role of Lou Perry in Play On, was nominated for Best Supporting Male Actor in a Play. For Best Supporting Female in a Play, Alexandra Mealy in the role of Polly in Play On, and she was the winner as well. She won this year's award. Next, nominated for lead male in a musical, Jeremy Fabrizio in the role of Riff in West Side Story. I don't think he's here with us tonight. For lead females in a musical, Kayla Honkala in the role of Anita for West Side Story, and Alyssa Montez in the role of Maria in West Side Story. Best Supporting Male in a Musical, Rohan McIntosh for the role of Action in West Side Story. Also recognized this year for outstanding choreography was Paige Eckert for the ballet sequence in West Side Story. Ethan Eisenberg for Cool in West Side Story. And Sarah Scarborough for I Feel Pretty and Mambo in West Side Story. In the technical category, stage manager Natalie Jepson was nominated for West Side Story and recognized. The kids did a great job this year and they make us proud every year. So thank you. Thank you for having us.
Hey, James, you missed your applause. Stands up so everybody can see you.
Thank you. Next, we have the Student Building Bridges Award. Mr. Kevin Van.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. I'm looking for Abigail Lutz, if she can come up and join me. So Abby was recognized recently at 2 events in early May. The Suffolk County Holocaust Remembrance Day program, which was on May 4th, and the Town of Brookhaven Youth Volunteer Awards on May 5th. And each event celebrated her community service efforts and commitment to improving the culture here at the high school. Abby's been responsible for planning Best Buddies chapter meetings each week, which entails planning activities, ensuring all group members will be able to participate. She creates all Best Buddies pairs, which matches general education students and students with intellectual disabilities. It's of the utmost importance that she know and understand the needs, personalities, and characteristics of each of these students involved on a personal level in order to create matches that will develop a meaningful, long-lasting relationship. Abby's also responsible for organizing our chapter's participation in the Best Buddies Prom, Leadership Conference, and Friendship Walk. Within our high school chapter, Abigail has organized a trick-or-treating event, bowling trips, movie nights, laser tag, and trips to the trampoline zone. It cannot be argued that Abigail's efforts and dedication to the program has fostered a positive and inclusive culture at Shoreham-Wading River High School for students with disabilities. Her work in the Best Buddies program has torn down barriers to allow students of the high school to embrace and celebrate our individual and collective strengths, similarities, and differences, and making our school and community a better place. On a personal note, I found Abby to be an inspiration and a reflection of all that is good in the young people we have today. It's easy to see what drives Abigail. It's not accolades and compiling community service events, but rather a genuine, tangible commitment to make the world a more caring and inclusive place, and she's doing that by being that change in this community. Abigail, I thank you for all you've done for our school and truly being an inspiration and role model to both students and adults in our community. And I have this year's James Logan come over. This year's Riverhead Youth Court Dinner and Ceremony honoring our school's participants and graduating seniors took place on Tuesday, April 25th. As always, it was a wonderful event which acknowledged the efforts of our students to adjudicate youth in a non-criminal court. This year's graduating seniors from Shoreham-Wading River included James, Emily Kinley, Haley Lindell, and Nick Panzerino and Ryan Radonovich. I don't know if any of those folks are here, but if they are, you should come up. Graduates received letters of recommendation from the court, scholarship money, and a graduation cord, as well as an engraved gavel. Since 1997, over 810 students from Shoreham-Wading River School, Riverhead High School, and Bishop McGann Mercy High School have become members, with Shoreham-Wading River comprising the largest group of participants. The Riverhead Youth Court has the honor of being the first youth court on Long Island and is a model to other youth courts nationwide. Over 200 trials have been held. To date, there is a 0 recidivism rate for defendants in this court. So on behalf of the Honorable Alan M. Smith, Honorable Kim Shalvey, and Honorable Lori Holtz, along with Councilman Jim Wooten and Supervisor Walter, the Riverhead Youth Court wishes to thank Shoreham-Wading River School District for supporting and their ongoing participation in this program, and to recognize James Logan for his outstanding contribution to this worthy program.
Thank you, Kevin. Is she here? Next, we have the Middle Level Science Teacher of the Year Award. Dr. Anthony?
Good evening. I am very happy to be here tonight celebrating Anthony Rome, who won the Suffolk County Middle School Science Teacher of the Year Award this year. Anthony consistently challenges students with academic rigor inspired by constructivism. His lessons align with the next generation science standards and are highly student-centered. He's an outstanding educator who selflessly shares his time and knowledge with students and colleagues. He's an exceptional teacher and lifelong learner, a true inspiration to all who know him, and he truly deserves the award that he has received by the Science Teachers Association of New York State. Congratulations.
Start. We're going to just skip ahead a little bit. We're going to move to the AP Capstone Integrated Theater by Dr. Chowsky.
Good evening. On behalf of Mr. Holtzman, Mr. Van, and the high school's humanities departments, I would like to thank the Board of Education for supporting us as we strive to expand our course offerings and deepen our instructional practice. And tonight we're here to update you on two wonderful courses that were approved last year, Integrated Theater and AP Capstone. First, Ms. Mary Heigum and Mr. Matt Milheiser will speak about their course, Integrated Theater.
Our collaborative theater has a history. It started out actually through the school plays, where, of course, we try to be as inclusive as possible, and any student that would like to be in the school musical can be in the school musical, regardless of their ability or if they have an interest and they have a desire and they want to be in the school musical, they can, and that's something that Mr. Creighton continues today. With that, we had students that typically hadn't joined the theater program start to join the theater program. And our collaborative theater started in 2012, where one student joined the class, and it continued in what happened in 2013 to 2016, as the increased interest, there was a range of exceptional students that caused the program to grow, and the differentiation became more complex because there were so many different types of students in the class. It became difficult to accommodate everybody's needs. We needed more support. We needed more staff in order for the experience in the theater class to be as productive as possible for all of the students. So in 2017, and actually at the end of last year, Mr. Milheiser and I started to work on a collaborative model to create a class that would accommodate students of different types of talents and different types of experiences, so that the theater class would be something that everybody would get a great deal out of. So in our collaborative theater class, RISE students, Learning Center students, life skills students, and general education students that are interested in theater and that are interested in arts and education comprise the class. Many times students that have an interest in going into teacher corps will also join the class, or if they're part of Best Buddies, they too will join the class, even though they're not our typical theater students. The wonderful part about this theater class is everybody arrives as equals. You learn what you need to learn in the class. Exceptional students learn the theater basics, interpreting and expressing emotion, script writing, how to handle school, work, and life situations, and they collaborate and work with their typical peers. The typical student learns about theater instruction techniques, also theater acting techniques, and they learn about differentiating instruction for the needs of individual students, and there's a respectful interaction with their exceptional peers. The one thing I would say when I was talking to the students, they talk about it being a mind-opening experience, and that for them, it's about acceptance and learning to work with people who have different talents and different abilities, and that everybody has something to contribute, and everyone learns how to make the most of all of their talents in this class. So in 2016, these are some of the highlights of our class. We worked on a production of A Christmas Carol. We did children's stories such as the Bremen Town Musicians. We also did a little, it's a little bit out of order, but we did a little section of acting out where our students worked on social skills, where we created skits that had to do with typical social interactions that high school students would have. And this was where our students really led the way, because as cool as Mr. Milheiser and I think we are, we're not that cool. And they can talk about things, about real life situations and slang, and for all of us to find out what you're going to encounter out there in different social situations. The students also wrote their own scripts. And then finally, we just did a project where the students performed an adapted version of Romeo and Juliet, a truly differentiated experience where people worked to the strength of their abilities, and it was adapted according to that for each individual student. So it has been a great success. I have to thank Mr. Milheiser for all of his hard work this year, as well as all the aides in the classroom, and in particular all the students that have participated in the class. Without all of them, none of this would have worked at all. And so because I would like, if you don't mind, we're going to take a few minutes, I'm going to ask a couple of our students from the class to talk about their experiences. So if I'd like to call up James Hunt.
Hello, my name is James Hunt, and this is my first year in theater. When I was started theater, I was so excited. I thought we were going to the play, fun games, and learn plays. Then I was little. I was in the play Alice in the Wonderland. I love acting. My favorite part of the year was a sword fight in the play Romeo and Juliet. I was terrible, and I had to pretend to die. It was so fun. I also liked being Jacob Merle in the play The Christmas Carol. My best friend in theater class is Megan H. She helped me with words and to learn my lines. We danced together during the play of Romeo and Juliet, and I taught her dancing moves. I made her a picture of flowers with a note to thank her for being so nice to me. She loved it. I think everyone should take theater class. You can have a more fun major rule in a play and make new friends. I am so happy that I am in this class and that I met Meg. She is so nice and makes my days better.
And now I'd like to introduce Kyle Wrigley.
Testing, 1, 2. Good evening. My name is Kyle Wrigley. I would first like to thank you for letting me speak tonight. I am very excited to share my experience in theater. I have been in theater for 3 years. I have been a part of 2 musicals and 1 student production. But this year's 9th period theater class was the best part of my day. When we first started this year, I thought we would just be performing plays, but this year we did so much more. We played theater games, created skits, learned new skills, and performed Romeo and Juliet. My favorite games in theater this year were press conference and social skits. In press conference, we asked one of our classmates questions about themselves as a way to give them clues so they can guess their identity. In social skits, we learn about subjects like responsibility and fairness. My favorite was responsibility because being responsible is very important. Also, whenever I have trouble, my friend Abby Lutz helps me practice my lines or understand a difficult topic. Last week, we performed Romeo and Juliet in front of 60 people. I played the part of Romeo. My favorite part of the play was the dance scene. I got to dance to Cotton Eye Joe. It was awesome. My teacher, Mr. Millizer, asked me what I would say to someone who was unsure if they should take this class or not. I said I would tell them to take the class so they could have the time of their life.
And I'd like to introduce Alyssa Montez.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Montez. I am a senior at the high school this year. I will be graduating to go to St. Joseph's to pursue child studies. I want to be an elementary school teacher or a special education teacher. Either one would be a dream. This was my first year in the class, although I've taken theater all 4 years of high school. Actually, I wasn't enlisted in this class. I used my free period to come to this class because I figured I'll go one day, hang out with a few of my friends, and then I just fell in love with all of now who I call my best friends, all of the students with special needs and the general ed students in that class. I love them dearly. Like Kyle said, in the class we did what we call social skits. And in those skits we did things where we would learn about different emotions and what's appropriate to a situation, or also things like responsibility and being a trustworthy person. There was one scene in particular where we did something where a student would have to play both parts. In part A, they would have to play the mother who was upset with her son because he didn't clean his room, even though she had asked him to. And then student B had to be the person who didn't clean his room. So they got to see the emotion of the student being punished for not cleaning his room. And then they also got to see the other side of playing the parent who was upset. So by doing that, they learned how to be responsible so that they wouldn't lose something because that inevitably made them upset or angry. And then they also learned how, as a parent, sometimes you have to be authoritative. We also did shows. We recently did Romeo and Juliet. We had a really fantastic sized audience, and the kids, they shined on stage. It was beautiful. I remember some of them coming into class the first day. They didn't want to talk to anyone. They sat in their seat in the corner, and we had to really push to get them up to come participate in the improv scenes. And then by the end of the year, there was one student who asked Ms. Hygens for more lines in Romeo and Juliet because he felt that he needed to talk more on stage. And so that was really awesome to see him grow like that. But also separate from the students with special needs, the general education students really learned a lot, myself included. I always knew I wanted to teach. And I knew that I loved to hang out with people, with students with special needs, but I always doubted would I be able to teach them and to really guide them and show them how to work when they leave this school and they leave us. And I learned this year that I can do that. And so I knew that I could pursue this as a career, and that means a lot because it's my future, and I know it's something I'll be passionate about and I'll love it, and I cannot wait. We also learned about the general education students. We learned how to just be with people who maybe are different from us. It's not just if they have disabilities, it's sometimes people work differently from us, and learning how to talk with them and get on a new level with people was really, really helpful. And I'm really going to miss this class next year. I wish it was part of high school when I was a freshman, but I'm so thankful that they let me, Mr. Milheiser and Ms. Hagen, let me be a part of it this year. And I can't wait to come back and see how it grows next year. Thank you.
Finally, I'd like to introduce Ethan Eisenberg.
Hello, my name is Ethan Eisenberg. I am a sophomore this year, and theater has been my hobby since I was 5 years old. Last year, as a freshman, I of course took Mrs. Higam's theater class as my elective. While it was not an introduction to theater for me, it was an introduction to a group of special needs kids that I am lucky enough to now call my friends. However, last year the class was divided between the typical and exceptional students. This was no one's fault. The curriculum was just not conducive to a lot of communication between the two groups of students. This being said, I was not spending as much time as I would have liked to with the exceptional students. When Ms. Higam informed me of the structure of the course that she and Mr. Milheiser designed for this year, the integrated theater class, I knew in my gut that she was on something amazing. I could barely wait for the fall. Flash forward a year later, and I can honestly say that this class has been the joy of my high school experience thus far. The magic is this. Theater activities and performance were used as a tool to improve communication and social skills. I experienced firsthand connection in the form of listening and eye contact on the stage. What exceeded my expectations was that the more connection there was on the stage, the more there was off the stage as well. This is an extremely special class, and I hope to see it continued for my remaining years here at SWR and for many years after that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to end with, this is from Romeo and Juliet with Kyle and McKenna. They were fantastic. Now I'd like to introduce our AP Capstone team, Ms. Alana Philcox, our AP seminar instructor, Mr. Ed Stork, who will teach our newest offering, AP Research, next year.
Hello, good evening. I'm Elena Philcox, and I was fortunate enough to have taught AP Seminar this year. The program received unwavering support from administrators, our librarian, Mrs. Hanson, support staff, and our fellow colleagues. We were provided with the necessary resources to be successful, such as a class set of Chromebooks or one-to-one devices for conducting our research, video cameras, the appropriate training at Villanova University, and time to complete curriculum writing. On behalf of everyone involved in the program, thank you very much. So this is the first year that AP Seminar was offered, and you can see in the pictures our students are conducting real-life lines of reasoning. Next year, our students will be participating, the majority of them will be moving on to AP Research, and then in the year after that, we will have our students at the end of next year, our students will be able to receive the capstone diploma if they took 4 other AP classes and received a 3 or higher on those end of the year exams, and a 3 or higher in both AP Seminar and AP Research. This year has been comprised of many firsts for both myself and the students. The students completed 2 performance tasks and 1 end of the year exam. Each performance task consisted of a research paper, a multimedia presentation, and an oral defense where they had to defend their work and take responsibility for the work they completed throughout each performance task. The first performance task was as a team and the second individually. The students received a crash course in time management, accountability, and responsibility, and for each of those, they rose to the occasion. I'm proud of the students' willingness to get out of their comfort zones, try something new, and embark on a journey through a rigorous yet rewarding course. I look forward to hearing about their success in AP Research and to working closely with Mr. Stork. As for implementing a new course, we established a cohort here on the island where teachers and administrators met a few times a year to talk about our triumphs and areas of improvement, and I personally happen to co-teach, if you will, via email with teachers around the nation to also troubleshoot and just have established lines of communication to work through such a new course. I invited some students here tonight to speak on behalf of their experiences in the program.
Hello, my name is Grace. I'm in 11th grade. And I'm so fortunate to be able to be part of the first year that this class was offered. Personally, I've always loved English classes and things where I'm able to research something that I like, and this program really is like no other. You're able to take things that you're interested in and integrate them with what the course is calling for you to do and really choose something that you're passionate about and that you're so proud of when you're finished with it. Even the prompts that they gave you were flexible enough where you were able to take something and make it your own and make something that you were excited to research. So being in 11th grade, I've recently gone on some college visits, and the feedback that I've gotten from these colleges when I've explained to them what this course has offered me has been like nothing like I would have expected. They're very impressed by the work, and everyone has said that it's an amazing preparation for the kind of work that we will be doing in college, and it's actually led them to get a little competitive with each other in what they're offering the capstone students that are about to earn the diploma, and how they're going to reward them for that, so that's exciting as well. It's taught me a lot of things about myself and about the other students around me, and kind of pushed me to become friends and become teammates with other people that I may not have put myself into a group with in the first place, which is something that not every class has the capability to do. So I'm very thankful for this class and Ms. Wilcox and my fellow classmates for teaching me so much, and I cannot wait for research next year. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jordan McClintock. I'm a junior at the high school.
Hi, I'm Timothy Ibrahim, also junior at high school.
AP Capstone is an unprecedented program that is engaging, informative, and cohesive. It is a unique class like no other. It establishes a sturdy research foundation that I feel has prepared me for college to a much higher degree than most of my courses. Certain schools around the nation have competitive IB programs that have been revered by colleges worldwide for years. However, in the first year, the AP Capstone program has been highly recognized by some of the most prestigious colleges in the nation. On several college visits of mine, admissions counselors have expressed their regards for the program and its objective. I heartily concur. Shoreham-Wading River made a wonderful decision when they incorporated the program into our school. And a big thank you to Mrs. Wilcox for everything she's done. She's done an outstanding job in teaching a rigorous course that was just introduced this year. Her enthusiasm and determination made this road a lot easier for all of us than it would have been. So thank you so much, Ms. Wilcox.
Hi, my name is Emily Goldstein. I'm also a junior here at Shoreham-Wading River. And throughout the year, while it has helped me on college visits, I found it helped me significantly in my other classes with essay writing. My English class, for example, my English teacher commented 2 weeks ago, giving me back an essay, how she's seen my analytical skills grow significantly over the year because of this course. And this past weekend, I took the SAT, and I discovered that with the essay, and the class itself helped me answer the question, because it wasn't like the typical English Regents question we've been used to seeing these past years. And what I really liked about the class is that it gave you the freedom to research what you wanted to research, because while we had prompts and limitations, it, as Grace mentioned, really was broad. You could find something that interests you within that prompt. Like compared to other classes, when you're doing a research project, for example, you're given like a set time zone or some time period. With this class, it really gave you the choice, like you could research something from 1940s while someone did something from the 1820s or something like that. So just really want to thank you for giving me this experience. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bella Burke. Believe it or not, I'm also a junior here at the school. Last year around this time, I sat in this library in an informational meeting about the AP Capstone program, something I had never heard of before. And as they discussed it, I thought it sounded great. Preparation for college, learning how to write research papers and do informative presentations. Two things gave me pause about this program: the teamwork aspect and the public speaking, two things I found myself not very good at that time. Entering this class, I started the work and I found right away that this was going to be a challenge for me, but it was so satisfying. After I finished the summer assignment, I found it so satisfying to look back at my work and say, I did all this. It was such a satisfying thing. And as we moved into the team portion of the year, something I was incredibly nervous about, I found myself taking a leadership position, and I actually, at the end of the year, was awarded the AP Seminar Leadership Award. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I did try very hard this year to motivate my team to get a successful presentation, which I believe we achieved. And the public speaking portion, well, I'm speaking to you publicly, so I believe I've overcome that. And as our final project this year, we are performing TED Talks about anything we wanted to. And I couldn't be more excited to get up in front of my class and just talk to my heart's content. Well, not to my heart's content, there's a time constraint. But this class would not have been possible without the amazing efforts of Ms. Wilcox, who put in so much time, and she really guided us all through this. And this was an amazing program, and I'm so glad I was able to take it, and I can't wait for research.
Used to that. Good evening, how are you? My name is Ed Stork, and next year I'll be teaching AP Research. Just so that you know a little bit about what the course is going to be. Essentially, it's a year-long investigative research project. Students choose a topic in a discipline of their choosing. They can choose anything from something English-related, social studies-related, psychology-related. 75% of their AP Research grade will be composing a 4,000 to 5,000 word paper, which is approximately 16 to 20 pages. So it will certainly take a long time to go ahead and do that. The other 25% of their AP Research grade is a presentation oral defense in front of a panel, which we will create next year. Another component of AP Research is the ability to have expert advisors, and currently the directors, Dr. Chowsky and Dr. Meyer, are working with CEO Works to create a list of mentors for students to go ahead and get paired with. We also have a preliminary meeting this Friday with a director at Stony Brook to look at the potential for setting up a connection between Stony Brook and Shoreham-Wading River. Right now we're looking at their teacher ed students, so future teachers. This would certainly help Stony Brook in terms of their PR, helping out local districts. It would help out our need to fulfill the mentor requirement for our students, and would also certainly go ahead and help their future teachers build their resumes. So this will be happening this Friday. Another example of somewhere where we're reaching out is we're working with Ms. Cosgrove, our DECA advisor at the high school,